It was not lost on me the irony that when we first arrived at this project, it was talking about opening this ceiling up and having this ceiling high, and we end up with one possibility as it being the lowest ceiling of the whole crew. So I did return to this just because I wanted to follow something out that had occurred early to me. Instead of having this ceiling so low, instead of having this low at 7'6", the alternative is just to replace this framing through here, which was going to be practically required anyway. Replace that with framing and raise this ceiling up. And I've made one fairly quick permutation showing this ceiling at 9'0". This was probably one more little modification I had made to the garage and to the laundry, trying to make that laundry nice, and this maintains the change where I got rid of that little cabinet here. And I know so far I've just been showing this 60-inch round table. A 72-inch round table would fit in there, but it's obvious that any number of table arrangements can be made. So maybe if this ceiling is lifted and some things are done with these windows, this becomes a whole kind of space here if someone wanted to just start out and set up with a rectangular table, for example. And this is the section through here, elevation 15, looking this way. These are those existing trusses, and this is the new high ceiling here with its crown mold up here, and a nice heel height. This slope, this pitch up here is 312, which you can actually put roofing shingles on that if you use ice and water shield under it. But the idea in this permutation would be to cut those trusses back, at least these lower cords, maybe just cut off the bottoms, and those are nailed to that. Those are not going to be carrying any more weight anymore out front, and bear them on this wall here. We might have to have someone check and make sure, well, I can check, but we might have to have someone stamp that that this steel beam can pick up that load from that front end of that truss, and from new ones that I'm proposing over here to be borne on that same wall. So those are those cut back, bearing on this wall, coming down through that steel beam. And then new trusses over the dining room, giving us room for the insulation and a 9-foot ceiling in that dining room. And so from one view inside the room, you would be going from this to this. Whether this column is required, it probably can or can't be. This can be just one big truss here with some sort of supporting member going over to our wall there, and the next truss suspended on that. So my belief is that column can be there or not, depending upon what a person would prefer. I don't know. I like it either way. I do like the ceiling raise. And then the purpose of that was to get this sort of the original vision going with the raised windows and the raised ceiling in that space. And maybe if that happens, I think this kind of unifies that whole space, returning to the idea of that table, what you want to do with a table in there. So outside it's something like this. I don't particularly care for this little leg here, but I think that closet's critical to the plan, so I think it has to stay. And I think it's needed to balance this now with this. But the spout will come over to this end here, the downspout to connect those two, and then maybe there's just a traditional light fixture there. I did horse around with, now that we have a different pitch going anyway, if we wanted to bring this out also on that 312, probably we would drop this porch. It's only 1.5 inches down now from inside, but if this were something that was wanted where this whole porch was covered, then we would drop that down another 3 or 4 inches, where you step down 6 maybe to this porch. And then here's a quick exterior turnaround, and that'll be it. There won't be anything for me to say after that. But I'm pleased with this as an alternative, as a return to our original vision of this room being lifted like this, and really taking advantage of that building site. Yes, we're pushed back here, but everything looks great looking out anywhere there, and that preserves this view for people standing here or out on this porch. So that's that. I know that this has been a preponderance of information. So here's the turnaround of this, and thanks.